Hey there folks, it's me TheTacticalBrit, and it's been a short while since I've made a video. If you probably can hear from this, I've been a little bit under the weather. It's been my first week back at uni. The weather has been awful, it's been cold as hell. So I've just been a bit in and out of it at the moment, but hopefully I've been feeling a little bit better recently, so you should see some more consistent content. And today I just wanted to do a bit of a reflection on the Call of Duty beta and talk about the new story mode trailer, which I felt was fantastic, as well as some of the controversy surrounding the Spec Ops exclusivity, specifically the one mode inside Spec Ops, the survival mode, has been exclusive to PlayStation for a year. This is something that has certainly hit a lot of strings with the community, and I just wanted to get a bit of a deep dive on it. Now, before I continue this video is brought to you today by Aorus. These guys do everything that I do. My PC parts, everything in between are all run by Aorus Gaming. A very impressive brand, and please do check them out in the description below. So the beta. Well, the beta was pretty damn good. I feel as though most people got the chance to play something which they felt was fun, punchy, impactful. I think crossplay was fantastic. It's so great to be able to play with my mates on Xbox and PC and PlayStation, regardless of where they are. And it really showed, because for the first time in forever, I managed to get all of my university friends online, and we were just playing on Xbox, PC, PlayStation, all simultaneously, and it was a fantastic experience. I personally opted to play on PC with a controller, purely because I think that Call of Duty is more a controller-based game, although I did enjoy keyboard and mouse, and I preferred it because the higher frame rates, the higher refresh rates. I love my PlayStation, and it's a great little device, but if I can get more stable refresh rates and more stable frame rates, then I'm definitely going to go for that. And I think a lot of the gameplay, you can tell just how buttery smooth some of the content that I released is, just purely because I get no frame drops, everything runs perfectly, and at 144 Hz with a controller, I feel as though I had a really good time enjoying the game. Especially at 1440p, it did look fantastic, and I'll probably continue to do this just purely because, although yes, to some degree it is an advantage, just that level of smoothness is not something I kind of want to sacrifice just because I want to play on PlayStation. Once you experience that level of like smooth, in-touch gameplay, you really don't want to go back to anything else, but I definitely will be continuing to use a controller, and I'm hoping to sort out some kind of controller sponsorship, just purely because I've been using a base PlayStation controller for quite some time now, and I do feel as though that I could do better with a custom controller, should that be available to me at some point in the not too distant future. But what issues did we have? Well, for starters, we certainly had issues with spawns. Some of them were pretty downright shocking, and I think certain modes in particular could have used improvements, such as ground war. But one thing I really would have liked to have seen is a party chat system. You know, being in the lobbies with all your friends is great until you have to try and mute everyone, and especially if you're in a 32v32 game, muting everyone except like your 3 or 4 friends can become very tedious very quickly. So I do hope there is some kind of like in-game party chat system that they put into the game before it releases. I feel as like something like that would not go amiss, and I feel lots of people would certainly enjoy something like that. But on the whole, I think I would just have to say I had fun. There are certainly some things that need changing. Balancing, to my extent and opinion, is certainly an issue. The Odin assault rifle, for example, is just clearly a powerhouse that is going to be a superior weapon on the field once people actually get the chance to use it. But all in all, I really do feel as though I had a fun and enjoyable experience. That's not to say it was perfect and there wasn't any issues. That's just to say that I feel as though on the whole I had a pretty good time, and I did actually miss it quite a bit when it finally disappeared. Moving on to the story trailer, this was pretty damn cool, I gotta say. I really like it when Call of Duty tries to strike a more political tone. Not to say that I think, you know, all forms of media and entertainment should be politicized, but war especially is a very political thing, just in terms of how it's conducted. And just some of the like commentary and decision making you saw in the trailer, I really think pushed towards you know, a campaign that's a bit more self-aware, something that, you know, thinks about itself a bit more. Something that thinks about wider issues surrounding what's going on rather than just shooty kill everyone. And I really do hope that they kind of keep pushing that. I feel as though Call of Duty hasn't really made a very impactful and in-depth campaign for quite a while now. That's not to say that it hasn't made some good ones, but I just feel as though the days of Modern Warfare 1 and 2's campaign are very much in the distance, so to speak, because I feel as though those were the sort of golden ages, and of course Black Ops 1 as well, of just creating this really great experience that touched on so many different story elements. It was a bit like having a HBO series interactively in your hands, and I really hope we see something like that come back in this Modern Warfare series. And I just think, on the whole, it looked incredible. Graphically speaking, it looked fantastic. Just in terms of the tone they're striking with the sort of story and the dialogue that was happening, I felt as though they were pushing in towards a really good direction. It kind of reminded me in a very small way of Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan on Amazon at the moment. That certainly came into view when I was thinking about the trailer. But just on the whole, it looks interesting, and I do hate it when companies, invest loads of money and loads of time and resources into campaigns, and they end up being bang average, and it's an issue I've had with the Battlefield franchise for quite a while now. So seeing something that looks, as good as a AAA level movie, which is something Call of Duty has always really been good at producing and capable of producing, is certainly something I would at least try, or at least give a go. And finally, let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that is, of course, Spec Ops Survival Mode. Now, we knew for a while now that there was going to be some level of PlayStation exclusivity. This is something that PlayStation acquired quite a long time ago. Call of Duty switching over to PlayStation was quite a big thing because it kind of represented PlayStation being on the front foot, at least in terms of the hardware market, which even as it presently stands, they're miles ahead of all other competition. And it was no surprise really to see, the big guns like, for example, Call of Duty go in that direction. Now, exclusivity is not something I personally believe in. I really love Xbox's, attempts to alleviate that, things being on the Game Pass, things being on PC. I think that's an impressive way to do your business, especially hosting it in such a really good and friendly and consumer-friendly way is something that I think has stood out to me in terms of what Xbox has been doing recently. Now, PlayStation has very much always been behind in this bracket. They've always been against crossplay, only recently has that changed. And they do still have exclusivity. They've got stuff with EA Sports FIFA, they've got stuff with Call of Duty. A lot of the sort of big AAA games have some degree of PlayStation exclusive content now. And whether that's timed content or, just full-time content that other platforms are never going to see is purely down to whoever has made that said deal. And I don't see this changing. I do believe that Spec Ops being a whole year delay for other platforms, at least the survival mode, again, Spec Ops will be playable for everybody, but the survival mode won't be. For a whole year seems excessive. Even myself as a PlayStation fan, yeah, maybe 2 or 3 months would be cool, but Christ, a whole year, that's just avoiding fans of the game, of just, this whole experience. And I think it's a shame, but it's one of those situations where I feel as though the developers themselves have really had no say in what this has happened with. It was some higher up saying, hey, we promised PlayStation exclusivity, we kind of need them to do that. So yeah, can we make this thing exclusive, please? And they went, oh yeah, shit, we forgot about that. But it's a real shame, especially in a game that has been pushing crossplay in such a positive way, and especially a game that I feel has for once unified 3 platforms into a really great place. To have this issue is not ideal. But at the same time, if I was an Xbox fan or a PC fan, you know what? You kind of just have to live with it. And the reason I say this is because so many companies have pulled this shit before. Xbox is no patron saint of not having exclusivity deals. They did it for ages. People couldn't even get FIFA Legendary cards on PlayStation for years. And they've done it with other games before. They've done it with Call of Duty, with, season passes and stuff before. So, again, this isn't a new concept. Yeah, maybe a year long is a bit of a piss take, but on the whole, I find it difficult to say this is a bad thing and PlayStation, screw those guys. It's more just a case that, it sucks for people who are just regular gamers, but this is something that has been going on for a really long time now, and it's always been tit for tat, and it's always been, I have this, you have this, I have this, you have this. And it's not something I believe is great for PlayStation, Xbox, or any other customer really. I'd love to see things like The Last of Us available on Xbox and PC, just because I think people would enjoy those experiences, and that PlayStation first-party platforms would actually make a lot of money from them. But it's always existed for some obscure marketing stupid reason, and I don't see the money talking here changing any of that anytime soon. So I really just feel as though it's something people are just going to have to live with. I'm sure maybe there'll be a statement around it at some point, but on the whole, I think it is quite a disappointing decision. So folks, that's about it from me today, the Tactical Brit. I really appreciate you guys supporting my videos recently. It's been fantastic. I've got lots coming up, including some Battlefield content, including some content surrounding Call of Duty prior to launch as well. So expect lots of content in general. Of course, we've got the new Battlefield update coming out soon, which is great, including Al Sundan, which is going to be pretty interesting. But just on the whole, you know, it's great to be a content creator right now. I've really appreciated some of the support I've had from you guys. So expect lots of Battlefield 5, especially when the Pacific comes around. Expect lots of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And yeah, a quick shout out to my Twitter competition winners of #MWTacticalBrit. Your clips are fantastic. PlayStation 4 Pro, Scuff controller, Astro headset. Really happy and thankful to give away that, and a huge shout out to Call of Duty UK for letting me run that giveaway. So guys, thank you very much. It's been me, the Tactical Brit, and I'll catch you again in another video.